Learning modules are a very powerful way to personalize learning in your classroom and to create self-paced lessons in a flipped classroom. Really what a learning module enables you to do is to post content, presentations, video demonstrations, lectures, and assessments and activities so that students can complete them in sequential order. And as they complete certain tasks, you can also even program modules to be unlocked for certain content to be unlocked as you proceed through them. What I'm going to do right now is just give you a brief tour of some examples of learning modules. We've put a link up on Blackboard in the Learning Modules folder that shows you how to actually create a learning module. Really encourage you to go visit that. Blackboard has numerous helpful video tutorials that you can go in and look at. So a tutorial and just an example to show you really what a learning module is all about. First learning module we're going to show you is a project that was recently completed at the STEM Academy. And it was a project that we completed in conjunction with Harley-Davidson. It was a really great partnership we have. And basically, they had to learn about how to make an appropriate TV commercial, an effective TV commercial. And specifically, they had to create a motorcycle using Harley's Bike Builder on their website. And then they had to create a TV commercial, 30 to 60-second commercial that advertises it to a specific target market. So they had to brand it, they had to come up with a slogan for it, and they had to use their creativity to create an effective ad. Well, you can imagine that for a 10-day project, there's a lot to learn. So one thing we did was we grouped the kids up, and we had 3 groups. We had grouped the kids up in the groups of 3, and in their teams, they each took on a different role: film editor, creative director, and product manager. And based on their role, their instruction was differentiated so that they became an expert in a certain area. And that's how we constructed the learning module. So with our folders that we have here, you can see again, we've put in the project introduction, the design brief, and the rubric that lists all of our learning targets for the Harley commercial, and a reflection as well. Once we go in to the learning modules folder, the learning modules are explained. Now you can see here, this icon indicates that it is a learning module, in fact. And when we click in Marketing Mayhem, this is actually one that had to be completed by all students and before they could move on to their specific modules for their specific roles. Really what a learning module is, it's a collection of curricular items. It's a collection of assignments, video lectures, whatever you want to build in. And really it's your call what you want to put into this. You can see that with mine, I've laid out all the directions that students are going to use. I've put in the learning target for this, the materials that students need, and the directions. And this really tests students' ability to go in and watch and pay attention to directions and follow things step by step in sequential order. Now, what's unique about this learning module is that we've done something called enforce sequential learning, meaning that if I'm a student, I cannot move on to the next item until I've completed the item I'm on, so I can't jump ahead. So once I click on Harley-Davidson 2012, which you can see is a YouTube commercial I've streamed in, you can then go on to the next item. Now, as a teacher, if you want to unlock this, I'm going to take my mouse, I'm going to turn my edit mode off, and I'm going to go back. Go back to the actual Marketing Mayhem module, and I'm going to click my edit button. I'm going to go in and edit this. I'm going to scroll down here and enforce sequential viewing of the learning module. I'm going to select no, and that's going to unlock everything so we can go in and show you a little bit more about the content that we have. And as I scroll back up, if ever you want to hide the module because you don't want kids to start it until a certain date, you can select no for this and it will hide it so students cannot view it. And click submit. And we'll turn the edit mode back off again. And when we go back into Marketing Mayhem, you're going to see that now I can get into everything. So it's up to you if you want to enforce sequential learning a lot. It's really good if you want the students to pay attention to the sequence of the documents that you have, or the sequence of the items that you have. So in this specific module, I've included some videos I've included an excerpt from a textbook. And so various things that you can put in, but as you can see, the content will build upon each other. Now, when you build these modules, you can actually build in quizzes and assessments and assignments as well. And you actually have to complete those before you can move on to the next part of the module. So really, this takes the form, whatever you'd like to make it to be. The real power in this, though, is that while kids were doing this during class and at home, it then freed up our team of teachers who are teaching this project. It freed up our team of teachers to go around and work with students. We actually checked off when these modules were complete. We made sure that they met their approval, that they met our standards and expectations. And actually, the end product of this is, depending on the module that the students did, for some of them they had to produce notes. For others of them, they had to post a journal entry in Blackboard. Some of them required that they had to create something. One of them required that they had to do a storyboard, and they wouldn't have been able to do those things successfully without actually going through and completing the content in the module to begin with. So this is one type of module. And if I go back, you can see too that we created other learning modules. Go for this, and specific to product manager, creative director, film editor. For film editor, for instance, it's a series of videos on how to use Movie Maker. So they became an expert on Movie Maker, creative directors became an expert on storyboarding the commercial, and product managers became an expert on actually branding and developing their motorcycle. And each module addresses each role differently. So that was one of the ways we've used learning modules. Secondly, another learning module that was created was a 7th grade class, 7th grade project on creating career portfolios, specifically digital portfolios. And the teachers who did this really did a great job of building in multiple items that students can do. And so one of the things they had to do was set up Gmail and their Google site for their portfolio. So they have directions off here on the side as to how to do that. And then as we go down, each of these sections is in sequential order. And so the next day they did Intro to Careers. They actually developed a syllabus here. And with the syllabus option in Blackboard, you can write in the learning targets, the description of what's going on, and the procedures that students will follow. We have some external links to WISC Careers, the WISC Careers website. We have some journal entries, and as they move on, students continue to complete these items. The directions get a little bit more complex every day, and they have to complete written reflections and all of that. So again, putting this in the hands of the students, they're following through these lessons, and as they're doing that, remember where the teachers are in this. The teachers are not upfront delivering content. The teachers are going around the classroom, coaching and assisting and working with students on an individual basis. And again, that's the real power of when you do flip the classroom. And we'll go to another one. Our historical literacy teacher has developed some lessons. One of these is on the American Revolution, rhetoric, persuasion, and influence, and he has included many syllabi. And this specific lesson was on ethos, pathos, and logos, and did again a really great job of just building in sequential learning materials, outlining lessons for students, and building in activities for students to do, whether or not it's blog posts, assignments, things like that. And again, all of these things, the tutorials that are linked in our in the Blackboard or in the learning module section of the class, you can go in and you can actually watch the video tutorials. So we encourage you again to do that, because they will walk you through how to actually develop a learning module. So again, learning modules can take many shapes and form, but again, the real power in these is the ability for students to truly guide their learning, and then for students to be able to go back, watch things over if they need to, and for you to then be freed up to go around and help students and assist students in these learning modules. And again, these learning modules are available all day, every day on the internet, so the students can access them outside of school as well. So we hope you enjoyed this little section on learning modules, and as you continue on through this, keep asking yourself, what does this look like in my classroom? How can I effectively flip the classroom to really meet the needs of the students?